Alright guys, so welcome to lab 3 part 3. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and do some more OSPF configuration. I know we're supposed to do HSRP, but I'm missing certain things that I wanted to cover too, like authentication and as well as some verifications. For example, we can do the neighbors, so it's good idea to check if you have form adjacency with your neighbors. So show IP OSPF neighbors. Okay, this is gonna show us that we are forming neighbors to router. This is router 5. Let's start with router 1 right here. So show IP OSPF neighbors. Okay, so we have two routers, 3.3.3 and then 2.2.2. So we use the loopback instead of the highest IP address, so it's easier to track down. I've configured interfaces loopback before. Basically, if you're gonna configure an interface, loopback is just interface loopback, then the number, then you put the number here, and then you just do like a regular interface IP address such and such with the subnet mask if you want. Usually you want to use all 255, the 4 octets. Okay. So for router number 2, let's do show IP OSPF neighbor. Okay, so we have router number 2 is this one. So you should have 1.1.1, 3.3.3, 4.4.4, and then this is 5.5.5. Okay. Alright, now router number 3. We are privileged exec mode. So let's do show run IP OSPF neighbor. So we have router number 3, we should have 1.1.1, which is this one, 2.2.2, which is this router right here, 5.5.5, which is this router here, and then 4.4.4, which is this one right here. Let's do router number 4, which is this one here. Show IP OSPF neighbor. We have all these 5.5.5. We are learning in 2 ways, through 1.1.95 and through 2.2.2. okay, and 3.3.3. This is the backup. They're in a full state, and it's a backup designated router. And I already just do a show IP neighbors for router number 5. So it's 4.4.4, 3.3.3, which is this one, and then 2.2.2, which is that one right there. Alright, perfect. So we just done that. There's also other commands that you can verify. For example, you could do show IP OSPF interface, right? And then you can do the interface. For example, in router number 1, I can do interface Ethernet 0/0. It will give you definitely more information for your troubleshooting. It will give you the internet address, area 0, that's where it belongs. Okay, the designated router ID, the backup designated router ID, the hello, and the dead and the wait time. Notice that it's 4 times that. This is a default. Okay, I haven't changed that. And this is adjacent with neighbor 2.2.2. Okay. Alright. We haven't configured any authentication here, so it should show, because the authentication is going to be per interface base, because we're going to use the SHA instead of MD5 in certain areas. So here in this area right here, between this one and this one, I'm going to go ahead and use SHA, and then from this one and this one, I'm going to use MD5, and then later using our Kali machine, and if we set up a weak password, I'm going to try to create something to see if we can crack it. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and configure the authentications. Okay, so let's do router number 2, which we're already there. Let's clear this up. So we're here in router number 2, and we're going to do let me see if I remember, it's key chain. Let's do router, let's do 1, just so we're consistent. This is going to be key change 1, and this is key change, this is going to be another one, so we're going to do key change 1. Okay, so we jump into that mode, and then we say key, we give it a key identifier. Let's use 1 as well. Then we do crypto. Let's see what do we have here. So we're gonna set up cryptographic authentication. So we're gonna do crypto and press tab. Okay, algorithm, and then we do question mark. We're gonna use this one. Okay, so the highest number, the more secure it is. HMAC SHA 512. Okay, and we're going to do a key string, which is, this is going to be the password that we're going to set up. Key string of, let's say, router, let's create a password. Let's say password something, or let's do something more. Let's do secret. Okay, that's going to be our password, secret. Okay, and then we're going to do this on router, and then we have to assign it to the interface. So this is router 2, so we're going to do it in this interface. So I'm going to exit here. So interface Ethernet 0/1, and we're going to do IP OSPF, and we're going to see that we have something called authentication, and specifically it's going to be authentication key. Okay, we have to enable it, so we do authentication, and then we do IP OSPF authentication key chain, and we the encryption type OSPF password key. So we use the chain. It was 1 that we used. Let me see if I remember correctly. It was 1. Okay. Okay, so it's key change here. There you go. And then the word, so key change name, which is 1. Okay. Alright, so it's going to be, instead of key, it's going to be authentication, IP OSPF authentication, space, and then keychain, and then 1. Okay, that's going to be our setup. So we do show IP OSPF interface Ethernet 0/1, and then we can see that we have key algorithm SHA 512 key change 1. Okay, cryptographic authentication is enabled, and look at this, it tells us that full to down, because with 4.4, because we have an authentication here, so we need to set up an authentication in the other side as well. So we're going to do that in the next video.